Welcome, Scorpio. This is your monthly focus for October 2022. So, October can be a real game changer for you, life changing month, actually. So, let's start with a little bit of the astrology. On October the 2nd, Mercury will be going stationary direct. Okay, so where you've been having issues, maybe with friends, groups, you'll start to get your voice back. You'll start to feel a little bit more normal in those situations. You'll be able to get some clarity and some understanding in order to make some decisions in your life. And then it'll move into Libra, I think by about the 10th of the month. And it is in direct motion now. So you could be looking at endings. You could be looking at beginnings. You could be looking at the dreams that you want to fulfill, and you're starting to talk about those things, starting to grow a picture. Maybe you're journaling about it. Maybe you're writing out a plan, writing out a strategy. On October the 9th, we will have the full moon in Aries. And so I think you've already been looking at your health and well-being, or maybe it's your routines, your day-to-day routines, your habits, your behaviors, stuff like that. It could be relationships as well. I'll throw that in there. So it's going to be a lot of allowing endings, where endings need to be in your life. It is a full moon. So it's what we're walking away from, actually, to give birth to new things in your life down the road, to make space, to make way for those new things in your life. Now on the new the sun moves into your sign, so happy birthday. And then we have the eclipse. Now the eclipse is huge for you. Okay, and the wonderful magical moment of this eclipse is that it's right next to Venus. So Venus is conjunct during this transaction, which means positive, beautiful changes in, it could be finances, it could be love, it could be both. It could also be that you decide to reinvent yourself. It could be a makeover of some sort that you give yourself in order to just represent truly who you are going forward, or who you want to be going forward. So there's definite shifts that are going to be happening in your life as you walk through this month. This could be a brand new relationship, especially if you're single. It could, and remember Jupiter on October the 28th will go into, well, your happiness, your romance, your love, your giggles, your laughter, your creativity. So that's going to enhance your life even more. Now, Jupiter is in retrograde and going into this. So right now you're looking more at your health and well-being and growing that aspect of your life, maybe growing yourself in your job or your mundane day-to-day activities and growing in some way in that way, or expanding it in some way. But we kind of go backwards into the Pisces energy, and for you that means money, that means romance, that yeah, especially romance. So I don't even care if you're in a long-term relationship, things could get a lot more romantic in your life. So you have the benefit of Jupiter working with you. And I think right up until the end of December, maybe just before Christmas sometimes, before Jupiter moves back into Aries. So this could be an all-new romance. This could be opening your heart in a brand new way. It could be bringing you in money. So there's all kinds of good things. Now on October 30th, we're almost out of the month and Mars goes retrograde on us. So this is where you're going to really feel a struggle, probably for the next couple of months, because Mars will be retrograde for the rest of this year until about the second week in January. And so it's not so much your own money, but where you have money invested with other people. Okay, now there are solutions, and the wind is out of the sails, so to speak. We don't have the oomph when we don't have Mars going forward. So this might be more of a time to understand where your money is, where it is in conjunction with somebody else. It could be a loan that you have. It could be an open line of credit. It could be a credit card you're looking at. It could be where you have investments placed. It could be with a person and having that joint account together. And so you do have a lot of solutions available to you during this time, and it's really about reviewing, okay? We don't want to move forward with our money, and especially joint ventures with our money. At this time, we really want to look at where we are and growing that foundation so that when we do those things, it's stronger and more viable long-term for ourselves. Let's look at the cards. So we'll give them a fast shuffle. So definitely there could be some new starts for you. You could be changing your appearance in some way, or some kind of personal change for yourself. And love, romance, and even money is all on the table for you this month. Okay. Now our shadow card is, let's turn over the deck and find out, oh, we're making decisions, but we're making them slowly. We're really thinking things through, and it's so important to do that. And you're getting the card that's saying, yes, you definitely need to do this. You need to really look it through and take a look at each path that you want to walk and how you see it working out going forward for yourself. Now, we're at the first one, but eventually we're going to move over to the second one. And then possibly the third one. So this is our starting point. Notice it doesn't have any kind of decoration on the top of the first wand we hold. That's just the beginning stages. That's the rough cut. We have no idea. And if we make our decision based on the first look, we're not really going to have the potential that these other two have. So we need to look at more than one angle, perhaps several. And eventually we'll make a decision on where we want to go, what we want to do, what is the right step for us going forward. So we'll put that one off to the side. Oh, look at that. Your wish card is there. So it really has to resonate with your hopes, your dreams. Yeah, your wishes, your desires. So don't be making these kinds of decisions based on what other people are doing in your life, especially people that you're attached with. They're saying no, 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 and you're feeling yes, yes, yes. I'm thinking with this card just underneath it, giving it all that energy, it's your wishes, your desires that should be top and foremost in your life. Now our first card out is, look at that, the Lovers appear. So this is about growing relationships deeper, growing passions deeper. It's about embracing something. It's about embracing something and determining to love it more, grow it more, nurture it more, expand it more. So this could be an actual relationship in your life. This could also be a passion, a dream, a desire that you want to step into. Maybe it's a new job that you want to step into, a new career that you want to step into, maybe a new learning experience or travel experience. But this is about embracing it and growing it stronger and stronger each and every day, perhaps deeper and deeper as well. We have the King of Cups here. The King of Cups is asking you to make sure that you have crossed your T's and dotted your I's. The King of Cups is here to ask you questions out of love, to make sure that you don't miss some important facts that you need to have in order to go forward. So start asking yourself some questions and be truthful about it, because I saw the truth there. So what is the truth about your finances right now? What if you join finances with another person? What if you already have finances joined with another person? What about love interests? Do they make you happy? Do they support you? Do they bring you joy? What about your job, your career? Are you happy? Do you like your coworkers? Do they pay you what you deserve, what you're worth? So it's these kinds of questions that we kind of have to ask ourselves, and they're almost like the mundane questions that we kind of overlook asking ourselves. We just do what we have to do. So this is really asking you to look at perhaps finances, definitely relationships, your dreams, your goals, and take a little survey of your here and now. And is everything wonderful? And what could be more wonderful? What needs expansion? What needs limitation? What needs to go? And what needs to come alive? And then we have the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands tells me a brand new path. This is definitely, the path of destiny. All these wands here in the background started out like this guy did. All twisted and gnarly and short and stubby and no growth whatsoever on it. And you took each one of those wands and they all started like this, okay? But you made them tall and straight. There is growth in every single path that you have walked. So now here you are. And you're looking at this stubby little stick. You know if you take on this challenge, it is going to be challenging. There's going to be a lot of learning and growth and growing experiences. I get kind of growing pains here. So it's not going to be easy, but it's going to definitely be a path that brings in so many of your other paths and the knowledge that you've gained and the wisdom that you've gained to actually grow this path in the way you want. Now it's going to need courage, it's going to need a passion behind it, and we're wearing white, so we do know it's a new beginning. So this could be happening around the solar eclipse time in your life, especially it being next to Venus, and you're being asked to take a new path forward, to step into something. And this could be a major positive change. I'm thinking once again, it's love or it's finances. So, we have the lovers here and the cups here, so I'm kind of leaning more towards love right now in your relationships with people, partnerships, siblings, parents, best friends, lover, spouse. Okay, let's look at work, money. Look at this. It has to be true to you. It's about your inner child. It's about letting out your inner child. It's about feeling the freedom. It's about feeling the liberation. And somehow this happens, through your wisdom. I tucked the card right under there. So tap into your wisdom. Your sage wisdom about what paths worked the best for you, which ones didn't, which ones taught you the biggest lessons. Because those are the paths that are going to unleash your inner child. Those were the paths you had to walk in order to unleash your inner child. So it once again is bringing in those giggles, that laughter, that joy, and that's all Jupiter and the expansion of Jupiter in your life. So this is more towards the end of the month, but you can prepare for it all the way through. So meditation, prayer, contemplation, pondering about your past paths and the successes. Don't worry about the ones that remain stubby and short and didn't work out. Those ones aren't on trial here. It's these big guys. It's these wonderful paths that you've walked. It's your accomplishments to this point in time. And that's going to take you into a full... I kind of get this true balance for yourself. That you're really feeling secure, confident in who you are and where you're going. And this could be in creating money. This could be in creating love. But I'm thinking in this position, it's about creating money. It's stepping into that new business or growing that business that you already have, or stepping into that job. It could be a new job. It could be a promotion within the job. It could be, but there's something very spectacular and different. And I don't think it would be the same job or it would be the same relationship, because there's a new experience to be had here for you. For love and relationships, we do have, look at this, the Four of Wands. Now the Four of Wands is, it's very centered about celebrating the here and now. We've got a long way to go for the happily ever after. There's a castle way here in the background. And here we are. We've got four wands stuck in the ground. We put up a little bit of garland. Maybe somebody else. So this could be the partnership, the relationship, and what you're growing together. And it's about celebrating those moments. It's not waiting for the big 25 years together, or, those big ceremonies and celebrations that we throw. It's about the day-to-day celebration within your relationships. It's about taking a time out and saying, we're great together. We work well together. We mesh. We can read each other's minds. We can finish each other's sentences. And we're a long way off from the castle that we see within that relationship. But that doesn't mean we don't celebrate the moments as we grow together. So look in your life for places to celebrate with people. People that you love, people that you care for. Spirituality, and we have the Strength card. Well, you're going to have to grab onto your courage here. You're going to have to grab onto your strength, and you are going to have to walk the line of integrity, which isn't very hard for a Scorpio for the most part. This is your spirituality card. This is telling you that you have to take a risk on you. An educated risk, yes. So we don't want it to be guesswork. An educated risk, absolutely. But a risk nonetheless. And that's going to take courage. That's going to take strength. And you might want to whitewash it a little bit to make it look more appealing. Don't do that. See it as it is. Describe it as it is. Invite others in as it is. But it's about you raising up to the challenge. It's about you believing in your passions, in your dreams, in yourself. And taking a risk on you. For health and well-being, look at this. We're worried. Don't let all those worries, those little tiny concerns, throw you off your path this month. Especially as life starts to slow down at the end of the month. I can see a lot of us starting to worry that it's ourselves in some way. That we're doing this. That there's no wind in the sail because of me, myself, and I. And that is the farthest thing from the truth. Whatever happens, happens, okay? Don't sit there and think it through. Don't sit there and sulk about it. You're not causing it. It has nothing to do with you. It's asking you to slow down. So where you're trying to push forward, that's especially towards the end of the month, that's probably where you're going to find the most resistance and where you're going to beat yourself up the most. So pay attention to those things in your life. Make sure that stop the worry, stop the concern. Okay, get a good night's sleep, get rested up, and yell charge each and every morning as you go out that door. I mean, your life is literally going to change on you. But this card will keep your energy low enough that it doesn't happen. So, let go of worry, let go of concern. If you have to sit down with a therapist once a week, then sit down with a therapist once a week. Talking to a friend, talking to a mentor, talking to God, your angels, your spirit guides, absolutely pray on it. Meditate on it. And let those little tiny things go right now. Just let them slip because they're not going to matter long term. And this reading is about the long term. This is about your future. This is about allowing that inner child to come out and celebrate life in a way that you've never been able to before. Okay, now we're going to pull a card from the Rose Oracle. The only thing that saddens me about this deck, because it's a beautiful deck, is how pale it is. So it's not really, I don't think, a card that I'm going to be able to use on online readings. But they're so gorgeous. And I started with these, so we're going to stay with them, okay? Okay, let's give them a fast cut. And our card is the Crowning. Initiation, thresholds, birth, rebirth, a seat at the table. And that card actually isn't as bad as some of them. This one's got a little bit more stronger of a detail in it. So we're going to look at the crowning. At first I thought it was because they were lowered, but as I hold them up, there's really not that much more definition in them. So let's get to the crowning. So the soul inquiry that you should meditate on for the month of October is, how is life trying to initiate you? So there comes a time when the flower knows that it can no longer remain in the protective constraints of the bud. Somehow, it needs to trust in the birthing energy and surrender to the unknown of the bloom. The same birthing energy exists with all of nature and in birth, both physical and metaphorical. It's an invitation for the mother as well as the child, who transitions from the water world of the womb to the whole new one on earth. This is a card of crossing thresholds, walking through the gates of initiation, which requires great courage and faith. There are rolling contractions, and it's almost always not straightforward. As we transition from one thing to another, we're called to burst through the constraints of the seed and then the certainty of the bud, so that something new can bloom from within. We're always birthing something deep inside. We know that the only way to surrender to the initiation is to surrender to the innate power within. The power is inner, but it's also connected with the intelligence that exists within all life. It's the same energy that tells flowers when to bloom, and it was present when you grew in your mother's womb. Trust in that. It will carry you through. Surrender to what's wanting to be born through you. Life is always trying to initiate us into even more of who we truly are. And that's because we were made for it. So how is life trying to initiate you during the month of October? I'm sure there's many spectacular, beautiful ways that is going to show up in your life going forward. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.